Uncertainty continuing to surround chip stocks as investors weigh the effects of policy changes with stricter U.S. export controls and potential tariffs on the way after President Trump proposed 25% tariffs on chips. Joining us now, we want to bring in Doug Bettinger. He is Lam Research's Chief Financial Officer. Doug, it's great to have you here back on Yahoo Finance. So the last time we spoke was just about 8 or 9 months ago. You were telling me that supply, that demand looked very, very strong. You were very optimistic about the remainder of what we saw last year, also heading into this year. I'm curious, just with President Trump and the Trump administration now in the White House, does that at all change that demand dynamic?
You know, at this point, no, it really doesn't. You know, we had our first investor day in 5 years yesterday. We talked about what we see into the future. You know, the government regulations that are there kind of feel like we're in a steady state pattern right now. So at this point, no, nothing new that we're aware of.
Speaking of the demand question, though, it's been interesting to hear from CEOs and executives, even at the likes of Microsoft, saying that the chip shortage is coming to an end. How does something like that impact your business?
You know, when we look into this year, frankly, it's going to be a pretty strong year for semiconductors. You've got all of the demand that is originating from the AI investments that are occurring. That requires a lot of semiconductor content. And frankly, we supply the equipment that manufactures the chips. And so when we look into this year, it looks like a pretty good year, to be honest with you.
What does that demand more specifically look like then, Doug, the growth opportunity, how that compares to last year?
Yeah, no, we see growth in the things that we do. You know, it's up mid-single digits relative to where the investment in wafer fab equipment looks to be trending this year. And that's investment that generates all of the leading edge chips in the industry. And so we're feeling really good about where things are trending right now.
In your conversations with customers, how do you drive them to upgrade when you offer new tools like the ones that you announced at your investor day? Because you could argue that once they have your existing tools and TSMC is able to utilize your tools to make the chips that their customers want from them, why would they spend the money to upgrade?
You know, the need to continue to innovate with leading edge capability, higher performing chips is always there. And that's actually what a lot of our equipment enables. And frankly, that's what we see going on, right? All of our customers are moving to that next process node to get the next level of performance. AI is driving a lot of that right now, but the demand for semiconductors, broadly speaking, is actually quite good this year.
Doug, how difficult is it to give guidance and to really navigate a time where there is so much uncertainty coming from Washington?
You know, it originates from conversations with customers, right? We understand where they're going, we understand what they need, we understand what their roadmaps look like, and frankly, that is the basis of trying to understand where business is trending. And honestly, if I can kind of point to a little bit of what we talked about longer term at our investor day, those conversations with customers are requiring us to make investments to grow the business as we look forward over the next several years. We're very excited about where things are going.
Doug, have you been having any sort of conversation with the Trump administration or your peers even within the industry just in terms of how the next several months, several quarters could potentially look?
Yeah, listen, we've got a very strong government affairs team. That's their job, that's their role. Yeah, conversations are beginning, but what I would tell you is it's early days at this point.
Right, but we have you here with us now, Doug. What are those conversations looking like? Can you give us anything?
Yeah, like I said, early days, too soon to comment on any specifics.
All right, well, I also want to talk to you about something specific, which is the United States relationship with other countries, specifically when it comes to rare earth minerals, something that the Trump administration is trying to reach a deal with Ukraine currently. It's obviously been an issue with China and their control of exporting of those rare earth minerals that, in my understanding, are utilized in some of your products. How have you shifted and strategically thought about shifting your use of those minerals ahead of any of those tensions that could escalate concerns about your ability to get access to the materials that you need for your chips and your tools?
Yeah, frankly, we're able to get everything that we need, honestly. We've got a very capable supply chain organization at the company. Really hasn't been a significant problem for us, to be honest with you.
Doug, when you talk about that strong demand, I'm curious, just where is that coming from? And what do you see driving that here in the months to come?
Yeah, honestly, when you look at like the new demand driver that we see in the industry, frankly, it's coming from AI. All of the GPUs that enable AI training and increasingly moving to the inferencing side of the house, the ASICs, the low latency DRAM, high bandwidth memory, all of those things need next generation capability. And that's what we talked about at our Investor Day yesterday. We looked forward over the next 3, 4, 5 years, and honestly, we see the opportunity to double the size of our company from a revenue standpoint and more importantly, from a profitability standpoint. I think yesterday, that's what got our investors very excited about what's going on, specifically with our business, driven by what's going on in the industry. Great roadmap ahead of us, and we were excited to announce 2 new products yesterday. A product we call Akara, which is the first bottoms-up redesign of our conductor etch tool offering, as well as a tool we call Halo, which is going to enable the next evolution of metallization in the industry. Super excited about the strength of our product portfolio and what that's going to do for us as we go forward here.
If you look at the stock on the Yahoo Finance platform, you can see the PE ratio at 27. Investors excited about how cheap the stock is compared to the rest of the semiconductor industry. So we'll certainly continue to monitor all those company developments. Doug, thank you so much.